I'm Joe Chili. You can listen to me mornings on the Big Weck. Joining us today on the Big Weck presents Buffalo on the Rise is Chuck Hayes, who's the Chief Development Officer for Catholic Charities. How are you doing today?
Great, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. You know, Catholic Charities is something to me that, of course I grew up with this. You know, the days of standing up in the pulpit and seeing them up, talking about this. And I've got to imagine that as time goes on, it gets a little bit more difficult every year, to kind of make that goal. Not because of, even just because of the fact that everybody seems to have their hands out now. Right. How do you deal with that?
Right. It is, it's a challenging time, but we live in a community that's extraordinarily generous. We know how to pitch in, and Catholic Charities has been around for 100 years. So it is a Western New York institution, and we have a dedicated group of donors.
100 years, hard to believe. And Chuck, you don't look a day over 40. I mean, I got to give you credit. But and what's the difference between, Catholic Charities, Fund the Faith, how do you differentiate it?
Certainly. So the appeal, which has been around for 100 years, starting back in 1924, as a way to raise funds for the various charitable endeavors that the Catholic Church sponsored back then and continue to this day. The appeal raises funds for two options. There is Catholic Charities, which is the human services arm, and we provide a variety of services from behavioral health to food pantries, nutritional assistance, family support, thrift stores, and the like. And then there's the Fund for the Faith. And the Fund for the Faith is the spiritual aspect. That allows people to provide monies for various ministries of the Catholic Church to enrich the spiritual experience. Things like priest and deacon formation, hospital chaplaincy, marriage preparation classes, various ministries like that support the faith.
And let's clear something up right away. It may sound foolish, but Catholic Charities isn't just for Catholics.
No, not at all.
Do people still think that?
I certainly hope not. Being around as long as we have, we serve people of all backgrounds, whether regardless of religious conviction or no religious conviction. We're there for everyone in need.
How do you deal with, and there have been some negative things with regard to the church and ministry and things of this nature. How do you deal with separating Catholic Charities from that? Now, the money raised from Catholic Charities isn't going to necessarily just to the Catholic Church or whatever, right?
No, not at all. The monies raised by the appeal go exclusively for the delivery of programs and services for those in need, exclusively. And all of that money remains right here in Western New York throughout the 8 counties of Western New York.
Do people ever specify when donating where they want the funds to go?
Yes, donors can do that. Generally, the donor designation allows them to designate money exclusively for Catholic Charities or exclusively for the Fund for the Faith, or both. And occasionally we will have people who have a special affinity towards one of the services we offer. For example, food pantries. Somebody may want to make a donation that goes exclusively for that.
You talked about how Catholic Charities is a comprehensive human services type agency. Maybe you can get into telling us some of the different groups that are funded by Catholic Charities.
Certainly. So we don't fund different groups. What we do is we fund programs and services. These are all delivered by Catholic Charities. And we have we're not the largest, but we are by far the most comprehensive human services agency in Western New York. So everything from basic needs, including emergency financial assistance, food pantries, thrift stores, getting people clothed and fed, to behavioral health. We help children as young as 3 years old teens, families through therapy, medication management. We also have a program, our multi-systemic therapy program, where we help families who may have a troubled child at home, who they just need that holistic family approach to therapy, where we come in and we help address those behavioral needs. We also help immigrants and refugees who are coming to the country who have been fully vetted by the State Department. These are people who have been waiting for years to immigrate, and get them on their feet with help with language assistance, with vocation, with housing and things like that. So we work with the federal government to help these people come in and get a good fresh start.
Tell us about Hope Day.
Hope Day. Hope Day is May 15th this year, and it is a chance for us to make everybody's donations go a little further. We have many generous sponsors who step up and say, hey, for every donation made on Hope Day, we'll match it. So it's really kind of a chance for us to reach out and call people who have donated in the past who we may not have received their donation yet, and say, hey, if you donate today, our sponsors will match your donation dollar for dollar. So it's a little bit of a way to get things to go further. We have a little fun with it. We have a bank of volunteers who will make the phone calls, and for every $1,000 in pledges or donations we get, we put a tulip out front, which is kind of a sign of spring and a kind of hope that it's a little bit different. A little bit different than the thermometer measure. So.
All right, and in our final few seconds here, how do people get in touch with Catholic Charities?
Sure, people can of course reach us online at ccwny.org. There's an opportunity to get help or to give help there. So there's an opportunity to donate online, and there's an opportunity to learn about our programs and services. You can also call us at 218-1400.
All right, Chuck, thank you very much. We appreciate that. For more information and answers to your questions, contact Catholic Charities by calling 716-218-1400 or go to ccwny.org. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by the following.